Hello and welcome to another video. It's good to see all your smiling faces. My name is Mr. Man, but you can call me Elmo. Today I'm taking a look at this, the new affordable Marshall that looks like a plexi kind of, and it's supposed to sound kind of like one. Like I said, my name is Mr. Man. I've been having a man flu for 2 weeks, and this near deadly disease has kept me from reviewing what I've been really excited about. And that's the Marshall Origin. Now, this is the 20-watt version, and it comes as a 50-watt version as well, and then they have a combo version. It's an all-tube amp, and what's a bit strange about it is that it's really affordable. The 20-watt head is $550 on Amazon, and the 50-watt version is $650 on Amazon. Now, for an all-tube Marshall, that's nothing. And, well, it's supposed to be kind of like a plexi, although it's not entirely a plexi. So, what are the features? It's fairly basic. It has your presence, master volume, treble, middle, bass, something called tilt, and gain. And apart from that, you can set the output level to high, mid, or low, and that changes the watts. So you can get it quieter if you want to have it in a practice setting at home, for instance, which is great. Now, it looks very classic. It's kind of like a plexi. I really like the look of it. Having carried it in here to the studio, I can say it weighs very little. Even compared to my 50-watt plexi heads, they're quite light as well because they're slightly smaller than the 100 watts, but this doesn't weigh almost anything. Now, it's made in Vietnam, so, well, I'm not going to say something made somewhere is better than something made somewhere else. You be the judge of that. But I do know that Asian countries have a bad reputation, but I think that's largely in the past. The thing that interests me about this is two things basically, and one we can't test. One is durability, because the old plexis, they can stand a beating. I had one of these, I think it's the top one, fell off a cabinet during a gig. I was a bit over enthusiastic and it works just fine. But you can't really test that with this. I'm not going to start throwing it about. It'll just have to stand the test of time. But the really interesting bit is, how does it sound? Well, let's take a look, shall we? And before I start, what am I using? Fender Yngwie Strat going into a wah, into a Fender Yngwie Malmsteen overdrive. I have a noise gate, and then I also have a TT electronic flashback and a volume pot in the loop to kind of manage the volume, but so that I can get the power amp of the Marshall to work at full effect, or near full effect at least. Yeah, I forgot to say one thing. It comes with a foot switch where you can engage a boost if you so want, and also operates the effects loop, which is nice. Okay, so let's start off by just listening to the clean sound of the amp. Now that's with the boost engager. Let's just see what the boost button does if I take a chord and press the boost. So it adds a bit of volume to the clean signal. That's basically, you can't get that kind of a sound from the plexi, at least not this one, because these 50-watt heads, they're never entirely clean. That's a good, nice touch. I really like it. But for me, the clincher is, how does it sound when you start doing your kind of Yngwie Malmsteen, I don't know, why am I using this voice? It's the cold, yeah. So how does it sound with the overdrive turned on? It sounds really nice. It really, really does. Now, the controls, like I said, they're fairly basic. You have your boost, which again I had engaged. Well, I'll do the same thing again with the overdrive this time. Take a chord and disengage and engage the boost so you can hear what it does. It doesn't do a lot when you have the gain or the overdrive pedal engaged. Does add just a bit of boost to it, which you notice when you're doing quicker passages, kind of. Gives you that just small push over the top. Now, it also has the tilt button. It has your normal 3-band EQ, but then it has the tilt button. What does that do? Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It tilts the EQ. I've had a listen to what it does, but the best way to explain it is just to, again, play something and screw the button. Yeah, well, I have the tilt on full now, and I'll put it on 0 while playing just a low E string. So when you back off the tilt, it makes it a bit darker than when you have it on full. If I take an open G, now if I play something with the tilt totally off, it's like this. And then tilt all the way up. Very much fun. Now, it sounds the business. Why is that? Because basically there's not a lot of gain going on in the amp itself, or overdrive I should say. There's power amp overdrive, but there's not a lot of preamp overdrive, so it's not a high gain amp. You can get it to distort, but then you need to put it on full, and yeah, it gets incredibly loud. But I can demonstrate for you by turning the wattage down to low and putting it on full. Just a second. Okay, so I put the output from high to middle, and this is what it sounds like now with the master volume on full, because previously I didn't have the master on full because I want a kind of clean option, an entirely clean option, which I can't get with these. So here it is. So that's the kind of clean sound when I have the master on full. I have the output on medium. That's much closer actually to these. Yeah, it's not terribly loud. I can't give you a demonstration of how loud it actually is because that will be totally lost on YouTube. The only concern I have about this amp is basically, is it loud enough? Because it is quite loud, but if you play with a drummer who really beats the drums, then I'm not entirely sure. Because I play in a band that's really loud. The bass player has this huge Ampeg pile and the drummer really does beat the drums. I need quite a loud amp, and the only way for me to know if it will work is to actually try it with them. And I haven't had a chance to do that yet, so I don't know. And I actually won't have a chance to try it with them for a while. I'm absolutely sure that it will be enough if you play with the drummer who doesn't beat the living crap out of the drums, and I am sure it will work if you play a kind of bluesier style, even rock. But if you're two guitar players and the other guitar player is loud and everything is loud, it's just on the border, not entirely sure. That might also be kind of a disclaimer, that might also be because I do have a bit of a cold, so I think everything is a bit muffled. I'd have to basically A and B them with these and see. And I am going to do a video later on where I actually A and B this amp with the Origin. So, is the Origin any good? Well, hey, that's pretty damn good to me. It's a personal taste thing. You might be more of a high gain type person. Fine. This is not that. This is for you people who like the more vintage style thing. Hence the name, Origin. And if you're on a budget, really do check these things out because they're really budget friendly. The reason I'm trying this amp in the first place is because these ones, they're not made anymore, the 50-watt version. And I had a look on eBay and they cost upwards of something like $2,000 or something per head, or more if I remember correctly. And if you can get one of these for 550, what did I say it was? Well, it's a no-brainer. I don't want to have these break on stage or on the road. I'll still use these in the studio because kind of my first instinct is this one is really good, these are even better. But yeah, that's basically my first impression type thing of this. What can I say? It sounds brilliant. It really, really does. Only concern is if this is loud enough for me, because I play in a really, really loud band. You have to try it out yourself. $550 is not a huge investment. $650 for the 50-watt head, that should do really nicely. And I haven't had a chance to try that yet. I think I will later on. But really great sounding amp. I mean, really. The other issue is durability. Don't know the parts. I don't know how it's put together. And I could look into the amp, but what do I know? I just play guitar. I'm just a stupid rock and roll type guy. So it sounds brilliant, and I'll leave you with a bit of playing on the Marshall Origin 20-watt head, and what an amp it is. See you in the next one. And oh, by the way, do like if you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to support me on Patreon, because I actually bought this amp to review it fairly. Yeah, and all the money I make on Patreon basically goes towards making more of these videos. So I'll end by playing a bit with the Marshall Origin 20 watts head, and I hope to see you in another one. and I hope this man flu will have, well, not killed me by then, gone away. See you. Take care. Bye.